tell us a bit more about Dateio. So what product or products do you offer?
In Dateio, we have two products. First, that we started 6 years ago, is Carling Marketing Platform. So our goal is to digitalize and simplify all marketing interaction and everything what's happening between retailer and client. So it looks like a, let's say, loyalty or a discount program within the mobile application of the bank, of our partner bank. And here we try to provide clients various loyalty programs, loyalty discounts that retailers offer, and target some cashback offers that are available, etc. So for the client, it's this value, and also from the bank perspective, it enhances and improves proposition of mobile banking. And our second product that we created after several years, it's data enrichment API. So that's this service is available, let's say, Europe-wide or soon, hopefully, worldwide. And here the idea is to make or bring insights to the payments to clients. So if you think about your payment history in your app, it's not really matching to a real situation that happens. So if you see your history, sometimes you do not recognize the merchant. You do not see the location. You see basically nothing. There are some cryptic words sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So, and our enrichment API can solve this issue. So we tell banks, and we help the banks, also clients, what is the place where they paid, and so the clients can have better idea about their payments.
So Ivan, how did you land your first bank client?
Well, yeah, it took us some time, and we were lucky to meet a person that was willing to give us a try. So we agreed on a proof of concept that we launched within 2 months, and after 4 months we evaluated results and moved to full rollout, and that was it. So it took us many tries in many banks, but at the end of the day it worked out. Yeah. Here the key thing was to make it as easy as possible in many ways, to make it easy for us, so we didn't have to develop everything we needed or we have now, let's say. Also for them to make very few changes in the bank that allowed us to launch it. So this all we were, let's say, perfecting before, and here it worked.
This was for the card linking payment products, right?
Yeah, for Carling Marketing Platform.
Carling Marketing product. Okay. And so did you manage to get this first client within Czech Republic, within your country, or this was?
Yeah.
Okay, so it
was Unique Credit Group in Czech Republic, and here's also good to say that it was in pre-fintech ages. So at that time, nothing like fintech was very known, and I'm not sure whether this term actually existed. And also conditions in banks were different, so no one was used to work with startups. Now when I see the banks have already accelerators, they have programs, and when you are starting a company, you apply there and they invite you, and you can present to tens of people within the bank. So that's all we have now in Czech Republic. And at that time, for us, the where we were spending most of our efforts was to get on meetings.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important to say, that it was totally different setup than we have nowadays.
So you work both with like big traditional banks as well as with the challenger banks, the new ones, the fresh ones, like Bung or Twisto, which are really like well-known players in the fintech industry. So what do you see as the differences when you kind of communicate with the traditional banks versus the new banks? Like what's different?
Okay, so there's of course many differences, and but to pick the most significant is speed of decision making. So that's where I see the biggest difference. In traditional banks, it takes a long time to get to through the process of thinking and deciding. And when it's decided, then of course implementation is also a bit longer, but that's not that big. So I think the decision making is the biggest difference. So challenger banks or let's say fintech companies are able to decide very fast and move on very fast, also with the chance that they do something that will not work. And in the moment where the big banks are still thinking, they already know whether it's working or not.
Okay. And can you just, I don't know if you can on average estimate it, like, okay, with the traditional banks, it take us, let's say, I don't know, X
Mm-hmm.
months, and with the new ones, it
So
takes us.
I take Tapix as an example, which is very easy to integrate service. So let's say decision making in a challenger bank can be in 2 months, or let's say in one meeting, but in general, still you want to think about it. And then implementation is also 2 to 3 months. And in traditional bank, decision making takes 9 months, for example.
Okay.
And implementation, instead of 2 months, it takes 4 months. So it's really the biggest difference is in decision making. And we saw a lot of development in last years on IT side, so to get IT teams more agile, which also saved some implementation time in incumbent banks. But still, I see the biggest potential where to improve and where to speed up is in decision making.